Hey everyone, thanks for listening to Sex with Emily. On today's show, we're joined by award-winning Fran-Sexual porn star and producer Venus Lux. She's going to talk about her journey to being one of the top Fran-Sexual performers in the industry, talk about her sex life, what it's really like to work in porn. This is going to be a good one. And I'm here with Menace. Thanks for listening. Okay, people, the genius design team at WeVibe has done it again. The brand new Nova by WeVibe is quite simply a dual stimulation superstar. The Nova expertly pleasures your clitoris and G-spot at the same time without missing a beat. You might be thinking, that sounds a lot like my favorite rabbit vibe, but it's not. Unlike traditional rabbits that tend to lose contact when you slide the shaft outward, the Nova's external stimulator is extra long and curved, creating firm, flexible external pressure while you maneuver the G-spot stimulator however you like it. What this means is the external stimulator doesn't leave the clitoris, which is exactly what the majority of women need to achieve orgasm. Extra clitoral stimulation. The Nova's easy-to-use controls let you cycle through its multiple vibration modes and even allows you to work the internal and external stimulation independently. And if that wasn't mind-blowing enough, you can even customize the Nova by connecting it to your smartphone via the WeConnect app. The Nova by WeVibe is so unique that you have to try it to believe it. So go to sexwithemily.com and look for the Nova banner. That's right, go to sexwithemily.com, click on the Nova banner today, and you get a special discount.
Look into his eyes. They're the eyes of a man obsessed by sex. Eyes that mock our sacred institutions. Bedroom eyes, they call them in a bygone day.
Hey, Emily, you got a boyfriend? Because my man E here, he just got his heart broken. He thinks you're kind of cute.
A girl's got to have her standards. Oh, my.
Do women know about shrinkage?
Isn't it common knowledge?
What do you mean, like laundry? It shrinks?
Can we not talk about sex so much?
Are you kidding me?
Oh my God, it feels so good.
Being bad feels pretty good. Well, you know, Emily's not the kind of girl you just play with.
Listening to Sex with Emily. We're talking about sex, relationships, and everything in between. For more information, go to sexwithemily.com. We can check out our podcast, subscribe to our podcast, because we do 2 a week, and they kill. And check out our new killer website, Kill. Why am I saying kill? It's so aggressive. And yeah, we update it every day. We got videos. It's a good time. And we are coming at you live from Gibson's showroom in Beverly Hills, which is awesome. And I'm here with Menace.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. What have you been doing?
I've been moving the last 2 days. I have. So Ken, my vice president, is in town from New Jersey for meetings. But mostly, I just got a new office.
Yeah.
And we are moving today. This week, and so we were working. You never went to my last office, the studio.
No.
It's a studio. It was 300 square feet, and there were 6 of
wow.
us. And we love each other, thank God, but it was very tight. And so now it's 900 square feet. It's bigger.
Nice.
And we're
that's like an apartment.
I know. It's bigger than where I live. So I had to make a choice. Like I chose the business. I got a nicer office, and I'm still living in my house, which is fine because we're fixing that up as well. So we're setting up a studio in the office. Which you're going to come help. And it's exciting. But also, so I live in my guest cottage where we had a drunk party, which was fun. But there's just little things in there that don't quite work for me.
All right.
There's no closet space. It's small. So Ken, not only is he a great vice president in marketing in my company, but he used to be an architect. So all week long, we've been like IKEA. But I went for 4 hours on Saturday, and I had low blood sugar drop, and I had to hide out and hide underneath the where all those. When you first walk into all the boxes and stuff, I kind of had to hide from him just for a second and take a few deep breaths. And I was so hungry, I had to steal some Swedish fish from the bins, Yeah. And I was eating sweet because there was too long of a line. And
they sell hot dogs for $1.50.
Yeah, but that line was too long and I was starving. But it was really fun. So I've actually been doing things that are transformative because I've been living into our office. It's too crowded.
Yeah.
So now I feel like I'm letting go of a lot of stuff and moving on and growing, and it feels great.
Love it.
It's going to feng shui my life. Okay, so that's what I'm doing, and I want to talk to you about the drunk show.
Yes.
I love doing that.
I'm sure you did.
There was no prep. We did a few shots, and people love it. And I loved it.
I'm sure they did.
And I'd never listened to the show. And not because I hate it, just because I don't know, it's weird. I don't have a ton of time, but I was like, this is funny. And we were very open, raw, I think we could do that more often.
Yeah, I think we can. We should just schedule it out because it only happened because I said, okay, well, just make a date and we'll do it.
It's all about planning.
See?
How come it's so hard?
Because every time we're like, oh, we should do that. And then it never happens. And I've learned over the years trying to get more organized is like, all right, set a date, stick to it. That's it.
So let's set like tomorrow date. What are you doing tomorrow?
I can't do that schedule. I'm going to have to look to see when we're available to do it.
Okay. Well, how are you?
But it was super fun.
It was fun. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I was in Las Vegas. I saw Rihanna, who just oozes sex.
I know.
She was
I feel
amazing.
like I should really go see her.
Yeah.
She's playing like for.
Yeah, she is in Los Angeles, and then she's going to San Francisco. She's doing a world tour. So I suggest if you love pop music, Rihanna has a bunch of hits. Her show is amazing. She just does hit after hit.
Did it
after
make
hit.
you feel like sexy?
Did it make me feel sexy? It didn't make me feel sexy, but it was definitely a very sexy show.
I feel like I would dance and be all sexy. And
she's
pick up
definitely
some
sexy
dude.
because you know who keeps on trying to hang out with her is Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh, and
Like they keep on being spotted
and she's
together.
like, sorry, I'm out.
No, I'm sure she's hanging out with him,
think
but
she's
she's
giving
like,
blowjobs?
I think that she's your type of lady. It doesn't seem like she's
Inhibited?
like getting locked down anytime soon.
Oh, so you're
she's
like
just
me.
out there having fun.
Right. I am not getting locked
Yeah.
down anytime any soon.
Oh.
But when I do, I'll let you know.
Okay, so another thing happened to me while I was in Vegas, and I know it's not a sexy thing, but people hit me up all the time because it's not a new thing to post food on the internet, but
No, you were the first one.
But so I'm always in Las Vegas. I'm actually going to be in Vegas probably every other week for the next couple months, right? Just doing things, right? So every time I'm in Vegas or I'm going to Vegas, everyone asks me, Menace, where should I go eat? I need food suggestions, all this stuff, right?
Right. It's not even about, well, okay.
I said, okay. So I figured out a way to make an Instagram account that's not going to take up a bunch of my time for food in Vegas. So I made an Instagram account that people can follow and just look at if they're interested, if they're going to Vegas and they
like
want to see
cheeseburgers and buffets, right? What do you
No, buffets
there are really nice restaurants.
Oh my God,
now.
there's like
No, there's
crazy
amazing
5-star
Wolfgang, but you're
restaurants.
right.
Like
back in the day, there wasn't. Right? Like there's like
no. This is
I know.
like new.
So you eat well
top
there.
of the line. Yeah,
I
or
just don't
I just
think of
find
you like that. I think of you like
suggestions.
all of your Instagram photos are like hot dogs and pizza and tacos.
Well,
so
then
I
you're
don't
not
picture
looking at
you
my
find it-
Instagram.
True. And churros Instagram. So now you have 3 Instagram accounts. Your dog, happy birthday to Churro.
Yeah, my
what's
baby.
what's the Las Vegas
So this
account?
one is called Vegas Foodie Guy.
And you couldn't have done it under Menace or Churro. You need a third account.
A third account. Yeah, this one's just dedicated to food.
Vegas
in Vegas.
Foodie Guy. That's kind. This is sort of like
follow it,
benevolent.
please.
I will follow it right now. If
Yeah.
if I got distracted though, then the whole show would go down the drain.
It's Vegas
That's
Foodie
exciting.
Guy
God, you got some time
on
on your hands.
Instagram. I don't have time, but I figured out a way to do it where it doesn't take up my time.
Okay. That's what life is about, being efficient.
Yeah, I'm trying to be more efficient.
How's that going?
I've been working on it for a couple of years, and it's coming together. I was never a fan of the iWatch, but the iWatch has helped me so much on keeping track on everything because I can just immediately look at my wrist and say, "Oh, this is what I have going on today. This is what I have
because your
to do."
calendar.
In my calendar.
Will you show me that? Because I think I want one too.
I think
It
you should
tracks
do
your
it.
but everyone's like, no, the Apple Watch, don't get the Apple. It's been very negative.
Dude, I was totally on board with the negative. I'm like, Apple Watch is such a waste of time and piece of shit. You should not buy it.
Right.
But then I was given one as a gift.
Right.
And then it has kept my
Will
calendar.
that person give me one as a gift?
I don't know. I can check.
I'm just curious.
But it's helped me. It's kept me so organized because like.
But you could look at your phone and look at your calendar all day long.
But how often do you go through?
All day long, I look at my calendar on my phone.
You do?
Well, kinda. I mean, yeah.
Kinda, but you could probably miss something. You probably get distracted doing something.
Oh, yeah.
But
Day.
here, you just look at your wrist and boom, it's right there. I don't
That's
know.
cool. No, I'm glad
It's
you like
definitely
it.
helped me. Maybe it's not for everybody,
Well, you seem
but
like, really,
it's
on top of the
definitely-
world.
been helping me out a lot.
That's good. Well, it's good to see your face.
So
And I'm
yeah,
glad
that's
we're gonna
all
be doing
the
more shows.
non-sexy news that I've been having
That's
for you.
really, I just love seeing you. And
Thank
that's
you.
really
I
good
love
news. You seem really happy.
I love seeing you too. But what is going on with your life? I know you've been single. I have people on Instagram wanting to date you. What's
Really?
going on?
Like who? Okay. Well, this is what you need to forward me who they are.
Okay.
Profiles. Are they real people? Like
They're real people. I
they're
swear.
like direct messaging you. I want to. Or they're like
They're like
"Ooh."
commenting on Instagram, like hook me up with
like,
Emily.
let's have sex with Emily. But are they like? Is it my potential?
Oh, you want? Okay, so
Is it-
let's just lay it out. All right, if you are a gentleman that's like hitting up our Instagram accounts, just tell them what you want, Emily. Just lay it out. You want a guy, you're going to want to have discussions, right? You like guys that are writers and they're going to pay attention to you.
Writers, yeah, and I'm going to pay attention to them, and we're going to communicate, and you're emotionally evolved. Like, you know what your issues are. You don't have to solve them, because we never really solve our issues in life. You just learn how to deal with them. But you know who you are. You're an adult. You are passionate about things. Hopefully you don't hate your family or your mother or anything. Guys who hate their mothers. Like, I mean, I understand some moms suck, but that's just tough. And you're happy in your. I mean, without you're a happy person. You're. It'd be nice, and I say, like, you have something in your life that you're passionate about, and hopefully, you like your work.
Yeah.
You like your life. You good friends. You're established, and that doesn't mean like money necessarily, but it'd be nice if you like have you have a job. Yeah. And you're fun and open and like sex.
And you happen to live in Los Angeles in a 5 mile radius.
1 mile radius. Let's be honest, I don't drive that far. My office now, I can walk to my new office.
Oh, that's
which
great.
We're going to talk a lot more about.
But so
it's killer.
So that's what you're looking for.
Yeah, and actually, to be honest, I've been taking it's interesting. It's like the longest I've
hiatus.
A hiatus from dating. And now
I think it's good though, because
it's super healthy. I've never gone this
I think it's good to take the hiatus, get organized in your life.
Right. This is what I'm saying. I kind of coasted over the whole what it means to, like, I've been living in, because I've been so busy since I moved here for 3 years, but I've been living in places that aren't quite, like, our office is way too small, like Madison, like, they're all on top of you. They don't care. Like, they're like cool, they're working, but it's like, I want it in my home. It's nice, but it's like things are falling off the ceiling. And so I'm finally taking time to clear those roadblocks that are, like, emotionally have to take a toll, and then, like, everything new is coming in. It's transformational.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by that. And then, so now I'm ready to, I think dating's going to go along with it, and the men are just going to start falling through the roof.
Yeah, like crazy. But definitely, I think that you have to get everything together in your own life before you could be happy in a relationship.
Yeah, it's true.
There's no way.
Yeah, right. And I think for a long time, I did put off that dating, and I was like, I got it. And then I feel like things really have come together in recent years. But now there's just like, and so then I had a relationship, and now in other ways it's coming together. So yeah,
cool.
Just evolving. So that's what I would like. And it's also Masturbation Month.
I know.
Which is a really big deal.
Oh, it's so funny.
I'm more excited for that than Christmas.
It's so holidays. Funny in the office. Somebody was doing research for the show that I work on, the Woody Show that you could listen to in Los Angeles on Alt 987. You can download it. It's not about sex. But somebody yelled out in the office, it's Masturbation Month. And I go, I already know that. I already knew that. Where were you yesterday? You got to listen to the Sex Emily podcast.
You probably are their local sex expert on your show.
I mean, if there's any weird, awkward news about sex, I probably already heard it from you.
Right.
But
if someone calls in and I might have chlamydia. No, you won't really have with that. But if they're like, I can't. That doesn't
No. But there's definitely things that you help me out with, like when people call in and they have a relationship problem.
Right.
I definitely, I learned a lot from this show, and maybe how to approach it in a different way than I would before.
And I've learned a lot from you about how to talk directly into the mic.
Yeah, right.
You've taught me a ton.
That
and I appreciate
is not happening.
I am doing it. Okay, listen, Masturbation Month. This is so how we were doing a contest.
Yeah.
Because we love contests and we love giving people sex toys and products. So it's about how you self-love. Everyone masturbates a little bit differently. So if you email me, feedback@sexwithemily.com, tell us, your masturbation routine. What do you do? Like candles? You just flip on the porn? Sit in your bathroom, lock the door? I don't know. What do you do? Touch your nipples first? I want specifics. Guys, what do you do? It ends May 25th, the contest, so send it in now. We'll choose our favorite submissions to win some pretty great Masturbation Month prizes. And
so how do you enter the contest? You go to sexwithemily.com?
We have information on there how to enter, but also just send us your masturbate. What's your routine? How do you masturbate? And this month is important because we're laugh. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Is an everyday masturbation day? Well, yes, I hope. But this month is about learning your body more, to explore, to increase your own knowledge about your body, and then also enhance your own sex life.
Cool. Explain the whole routine, because I listen to Howard Stern.
Okay.
Howard Stern is my all-time favorite radio show, and he always breaks down how he masturbates, how he grabs tissues, and how he has the whole setup,
right?
And how he has an iPad, and what kind of porn, what type of porn. That's the descriptions that you're kind of looking for, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Do you watch porn, or do you make sure your door is locked? Do you watch? Yeah. Do you watch porn? Do you whip out a toy?
Do you just think of past lovers?
Right. Women and men think of such different things. So what do you think about? like during sex? Like you don't watch porn, so like, for example, what do you think about?
You probably. What do I think about?
Yeah.
I'll just think of burgers and wieners.
You could break down yours anonymously and email us.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay.
It'll probably be the craziest one you have.
It will be crazy. Okay, we're going to take a quick break and be right back. By now, y'all know me pretty well. You know I love new experiences, but I have my favorite things that I always come back to because I know I can trust them. I can't think of a better example than the magic wand. If you've been listening, you might remember that I actually had a hole drilled in my nightstand, so my magic wand was always plugged in and ready right when I needed it. That's a pretty big commitment. And I thought it was pretty ingenious. But anyway, before you go destroying your furniture, consider this. The trusted magic wand is now available in a rechargeable version, delivering all that power of the original plus the mobility of a completely cordless design. The Magic Wand Rechargeable also features 4 intensity levels and 4 great vibration patterns. For more than 30 years, a trusted Magic Wand from Vibratex has been just about everyone's go-to massager, from its perfect size to the high-quality construction and materials. It's no wonder why the Magic Wand is considered the Cadillac of all vibrators. If you don't own one yet, don't live without the Magic Wand another day. And if you do own one, you need to try the rechargeable. Go to sexwithemily.com and click on the Magic Wand banner to order yours. All right. We have a great guest here today.
Okay.
And I want to tell you about it because I'm really interested in our guest because not only is she born and raised in San Francisco, and her story is really, really interesting. So her name is Venus Lux, and she is a top transsexual performers in the adult industry. In addition to being XBiz Awards Transsexual Performer of the Year in both 2014 and 15, she runs her own production company. She produces and directs movies. She's launched Trans Global magazine. She's just done a lot for the transsexual men, women, and she's performer, and San Francisco is her hometown. And I've read about it.
That's where we're from.
Exactly. But I just think it's really interesting. I have a lot that I want to talk to her about, but she's got a great story, and she's so driven, and like she's like 25 years old and beautiful and like taking over the world. So
cool.
She's here.
Hello.
Hello, Venus.
Hi, how you doing?
Venus. I just combined your name, Venus Lux.
Venus Lux.
How are you? It's so nice to meet you.
It's nice to be here. I'm a little nervous.
Oh, you
Why?
are? Oh my
There's no
God.
need.
I'm thinking about you, actually.
What?
Because you're like an icon, and on top of that, like you're so educated and you're a feminist. It's awesome. Love to respect.
Oh,
Thank you.
what?
I was talking about how much I admired you. That's really sweet. Thank
we
you.
go oogle at each other.
I know. Right, exactly. We will do that.
Nice.
Do you admire Menace? Do you know Menace?
No, she hasn't.
You might by the end of the show.
No
Or you might
idea.
not. And it's cool. Wherever you go with that, that's cool.
Emily loves it when people love her. So
No, who doesn't?
Who does it?
Well, I love you. No, I mean, I've heard about you, but I really, I get into my, people coming on the show, and I was so. First of all, we have a lot in common, which you might not think.
Really?
Well, in a way, we both had our very formative years in San Francisco.
Oh, awesome.
Right.
Are you
And
from
I know.
San Francisco?
Yeah. Well, I lived there for 20 years. I'm from Michigan.
Okay.
But I was there for 20 years, and and Menace was born there.
born and raised about a half hour outside San Francisco. I spent about 15 years living in San Francisco.
Awesome.
Yeah.
No, but I know that. So just reading about your history and reading about how you grew up in the Tenderloin district, like in the 90s, right? Because you're 25 years. So I'm just thinking about, but I know that I was in the wherever
Mission
I was.
was awesome.
The
back
mission,
then.
the mission, yeah, the mission was
Now
awesome.
it's so yuppified.
Oh, yeah.
so
It's
yuppified.
crazy. It's all
but the
tech people.
Tenderloin is the last place, and that was a tough neighborhood.
The Loin,
To grow up in.
right next to Bill Graham.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bill Graham's still there. Yeah.
Bill Graham. I'm sorry. I'm thinking Warfield.
No, that's in Fillmore.
That's Van Ness. And then,
Oh, that's in Van Ness, right?
Yeah.
And
Okay,
you
I'm
need to
sorry.
No, no.
I'm so
Market
tired right now. Yeah, Market
Warfield's on
Street.
Great American
Yeah,
Music Hall.
It's one of
That's
those.
in
Yeah.
Tenderloin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
No, but I was thinking about it because your story where you grew up, and I was thinking about transition. We're going to get into all that transitioning in San Francisco. I always thought so I moved there in the early '90s. I worked in politics. I worked for City Councilwoman Carol Migden, and she was a lesbian, like the first lesbian supervisor. And so we did a lot for transgender issues. And it was the first in '95 was the first time like they passed legislation there. Like it was so groundbreaking. And sometimes I forget. I think living in San Francisco that I'm like, everyone's just so open to everything. And it's such a normal thing, you know, and just there's been a lot of things coming up lately, and like, I'm just warped. Like people talk about drugs, like I have a problem with drugs. I'm like, you do, like just even someone like smoking pot, like they think it's all weird because I've lived in California for so friggin' long. So I think, like, I know, and I want to hear your story, but I think, God, it might have been an easier place to go through what you've had to struggle through. But then again,
the different situations, and you know, obviously different districts too. You know,
totally different districts. So tell me about Tell me about yourself.
Yeah, growing up in San Francisco was awesome. It's liberating to have a city where they are okay with nudists and okay with queers and okay with, you know, urban culture. You know, and so having that openness allowed me to feel, you know, okay to really explore my sexuality, explore my identity, and later on transitioning at 19. Although growing up in a Tenderloin, it's definitely very different. People would assume like, oh, you're in San Francisco, it's so welcoming, but like some parts.
I get it. So that's our difference. I was like in North Beach.
Oh, North Beach is awesome, But obviously very conservative out there, too.
Right, absolutely. Yeah. No, it is more conservative. But then, that was just my lead-in. I know that it wasn't easy, right? The Tenderloin, so how did your family, when did you first know that when you didn't quite feel like you were?
So I came out queer when I was like 13. I was very ambiguous. I defaulted myself as gay back then because I'd always been attracted to men, but I didn't really understand or grasp onto what gender identity is. And it's until later on in life, until 19, where I met another transsexual who kind of guided me and became the mother to me and helped me evolve and become who I am today. And because I come from a background of Chinese culture, and we don't talk about sex, we don't talk about sexuality, we don't talk about gender identity, we just talk about be a doctor, be a lawyer, marry, have kids, buy your grandparents a house, and then retire, you know? And flaunt it. So that's Chinese culture. And so for me, I literally had to discover by myself and do a lot of due diligence and researching what is sexuality, what is gender identity, and kind of experimenting. And so 17, I kind of left home. I didn't really get along with my family because they have such a traditional way of life. And back then I was living with my mom and my stepdad. My stepdad's Arab.
Oh God, you did have it easy,
full-blown Muslim,
right?
You know, reads the Quran, everything, and my mom is traditional Chinese. You know, it's so weird how they met, but so having that kind of like rigidness in my family did not allow me to explore and express myself. So I ran away from home at 17.
Wow. Where'd you go?
I was homeless for a while, and later on I turned 18, and then I was able to qualify for transitional housing out there. So I was off the streets, and I was staying in the government housing for 2 years and kind of get my stuff together. And
that's when you kind of figured out and started exploring.
Yeah, I had that privilege to have those 2 years to myself to just really understand my identity and who I am, what I like, where I want to go. And I'm very thankful to have that situation happen to me to get to me where I am today.
Right. Because there wasn't a lot of role models back then at all. I mean,
there isn't. There was no Caitlyn Jenner.
No, exactly. I mean, because I was just thinking about because I was looking. I'm like, oh, that was when I was doing this legislation, but now that would affected you in the Tenderloin with your Chinese mother. I get it, even though it's very, very different.
But thank God, San Francisco has so many nonprofits. You know, so it gave me that privilege.
Right. So then, what did you do? So you started to transition at 19. Yes. Okay, and then what was your first move from there?
So basically, I was working under a table at a strip club.
Which one?
I can't say. I don't want to scrutinize.
Okay.
Maybe I can say. There's Divas.
Oh, okay, yeah. Divas. Is that where I went with your friend on the date?
No, you went to the O'Farrell Brothers.
Oh, right, okay.
It's close. It's like 2 blocks away.
It's on Post and Polk. And that was our first date. It was fun.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cute.
Kinda.
That's like the great.
That was actually fun.
She loved it.
You went to O'Farrell Theater.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, well, hey, she's got a sex talk show. She's going to like this.
Yeah, she's down.
Yeah. Feed me.
Break her virginity.
My favorite one was Little Darlings.
What?
Little Darlings.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that. They have that.
So you did that. Okay, so that's when it started. And now you're 25.
Yes.
So that, really, you haven't been on this track that long. And I've been so impressed that you, Performer of the Year 2 years in a row, AVN.
AVN and XBiz.
XBiz,
Yeah.
congratulations.
Thank you. It's nice to be able to just persevere and be able to just kind of get that validation, working hard, and you having those accomplishments. It helps a lot. And it just now it kind of like gives me a level of like, okay, what's the next challenge? You know?
Right. So, okay, so I want to back up for a second because there's still, now there is Caitlyn Jenner, there's a lot more awareness, but I think it still is very like confusing for people. Like, you know, so what are the questions that you get asked?
It's more so people ask, like, how does Caitlyn Jenner affect me? You know, it's a political question because, like, okay, where do my, you know, standards or my bias against or with Caitlyn Jenner? For me is, I think she is great in allowing more visibility about this transgender subject. But also, mind you, she did not struggle. You know, she came from money before she transitioned.
A lot of therapy.
A lot of it. And you have your family too. So I'm not going to judge as long as you are able to showcase a level of community and kind of camaraderie with those who are trying to support a cause. Right. Awesome. But
I just want the questions that you
why
get asked.
Sorry, that is a big issue with Caitlyn Jenner saying that she came from money.
Yeah,
Well, she earned.
Well, she bought her face too. You know, like understanding like one of the biggest hardships that kind of like that leads to really making you a real transgender person is like getting discriminated. You know, like and imagine like if Caitlyn Jenner did not have the surgeries, you know, I'm pretty sure she would get different reactions than she would now. You know, now it's
but. I'm just saying, like, just for people within our own community to like denounce her or whatever is, I don't know. I think it's kind of ridiculous. Just because
ridiculous.
You know, because if any one of the people in our community had the same opportunities that Caitlyn Jenner had, I'm 1,000,000,000% sure they would take them.
Yeah.
You know, so it just comes off as kind of like jealousy.
Right.
Yeah.
No, but I think you're saying right. Like it's great that it's made a statement.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying. Yeah. That like why judge? Like great if people are going to learn what transgender, if they try to understand what that means in a transgender woman, like that's great for visibility.
But I totally agree. She shouldn't be the overall representation of the community.
But I really meant Venus. Is it Venus or Venus Lux? Is it like Marianne? Do you have to do both?
People call me Venus too. Yeah.
Venus, they do.
Venus,
but can I say Venus?
Yeah,
or is it like
Venus? Yeah.
Okay. So because he's like menace. But I'm curious, like the questions you get asked, because I think there is like, are you attracted to do sex with men? Women? I mean, I know in porn, what's your, how does it all work?
People,
for you? Who
people
you date?
still have a lot. I'm single.
Single. Okay. Yeah, me too. We just talked about that.
It's not because I really choose to. It's just very complex. I am pansexual. I'm, leaning towards more sapial. I'm drawn by intellect more so because my job is so dictated by aesthetics that I covet what I don't have. So I covet privacy because I don't get that much privacy. Right. I covet intimacy because I don't get that. Everything's all rigid on camera. And I also covet those that are inspiring, those who are ambitious, because most of the time I don't even know my scene partner who I'm having sex with.
Well, so that's important. So important. Okay, so tell me about what kind of porn. I mean, I got your login to your site because I was looking at stuff online. I'm like, no, I want to see what Venus puts out there on venuslux.com.
Yeah,
Venus-Lux.com.
Venus-Lux.com.
-Lux.com. But talk about like the kind of porn. So you have sex with men, women, other.
I love women, men, and I kind of everyone's kind of guiding me to like be more bisexual and that's also inclusive of transgender transgender identity also into bisexuality.
You're about to go into that, but could you explain pansexual real quick?
Pansexual, basically no judgment of gender. So I could like a trans guy, I could like a trans girl, I could like a cisgender female, a cisgender male. That's kind of what.
And you're kind of open to everyone. So sort of, it's almost like. Yeah. I used to say bisexuals had a great, but it's almost like everyone is available to you.
Yeah, nowadays
it's like a buffet.
It says buffet. Yeah, I don't discriminate by color, gender, or age, nothing.
Right.
It's
but do you think that porn? Because I was reading about your site. I said it earlier. You dated men mostly, but it wasn't until porn that was it that you had your first time that you were sexually with a woman, or the first time it was just your first sex scene was with a woman, or
first sex experience with a woman.
It was on camera.
On camera.
Okay, can we talk about that for a moment? I mean,
It was my first scene ever too.
and they're like, here's a vagina.
yeah, here's
have
a
a good
vagina,
time.
This is how it looks like.
Yeah,
I'm
figure
like,
out how to use it.
I mean, this is what I've been trying to tell people for 10 years. Like, I mean, they still don't get it. So what did you do?
I was like, well, first off,
They're
I
a pain in the ass,
messed
right?
up and put in a wrong hole.
Yeah.
They're like, oh no, wrong
Happens
hole.
all the time.
I know. I'm
Yeah.
like, I did not know the vagina was so close to the asshole.
right. Such biology, sex education is so bad in school.
and
It's so
some of it
true.
was with a very versed, experienced, just regular female, cisgender female, and she also had her labia pierced. And she also had her baby 2 years ago, and she also has, she
Jeez.
has extra lips. I guess she has a larger labia.
Okay.
And so I'm like, oh my god, is that how vaginas look like? And I'm like, okay, now I understand the concept of roast beef.
Oh my God. Right.
happens.
But now you've seen more, and they're all a little varied.
Yeah, and now they're varied, and
So many different types.
Were
many
you
different
attracted to it?
times.
But how did you? Because you hadn't been, so you had to perform. But did you do fake attraction? Did you actually get into it?
I had to like watch porn on my phone just to keep it up, and then on top of it was a condom shoot. So I'm like, I had to like take multiple breaks just to be able to get hard enough to be able to penetrate her, and most of it is just kind of like act out the rest, just fake it till you make it, and. Yeah, it was just nerve-wracking because I'm like, there's positioning, there's lighting, there's angles,
Did you feel like go down out of the first?
I feel like a dude.
Extra
I feel like a
labia.
total dude. I'm like, oh my god, I have to manhandle her, I'm
Right.
like, but this is so unfamiliar territory. Like, is it okay to like choke you? Is it not okay? Like, I don't know. What am I supposed
Don't
to do
they
here?
cover that? Is that like in the script? Now you will choke.
Yeah.
I mean, I know some stuff is
Yeah,
strictly part of
King.com
it.
is one of the best
Oh,
companies.
King.com.
Yeah,
I love King.com.
Yeah.
I love Peter. I mean,
They're open.
We had parties. Yeah, they're great. I mean, I hope
love
they
their
treated you well. I
parties.
mean, I think they do.
I've yet to get to their parties on Saturdays. I need
Oh,
to go.
they're so fun.
I heard about it. I
Yeah.
need to go.
Okay, we should go. Totally. Can we go? But so was it King.com? I got it. So you got discovered, right?
Yeah, I got discovered by Mickey Mlada, who was a performer and recruiter at King.com, and reached out to me because now and then they go to divas now and then, and he scouted me, and then from there I was like, oh my god, awesome, of course I wasn't like, oh yeah, I'm totally gonna do it. I was nervous, but ended up getting to a point like I needed to replace someone, so they weren't hiring me specifically. They needed a fill-in, and I was local, so they're like, hey, can you come in 2 days and shoot this scene, and we'll pay you this amount. I'm like,
Did they give you
okay.
anything ahead of time, or like a piece of like with the script, or just like, hey,
Oh,
did you
no
know you were going to be
script.
with a woman?
Yes.
Okay,
but
they didn't show you her labia
No,
beforehand.
yeah. On top of
You
that,
should get a headshot or something.
yeah, nothing.
shot.
I
leg
didn't
shot.
want to Google her either because I didn't want to keep it as a surprise, and I thought it was just almost like scripted. I thought it was all scripted,
Right, how'd
but
you know?
it was
Right.
not. It was all improv.
Okay.
They give you like a theme, like, hey, so the theme is she spies on you. You're in a shower. You get kind of aroused by it, and then you initiate the sex part with her, and then go with it. I'm like, okay.
Okay,
sure.
so because you started taking hormones at 19?
Yes.
Okay, so and did that transition, but you have breast implants.
Yes.
And you have your penis.
Yes.
Still, okay.
I'm off hormones right now, though, more so
why?
because the hormones affect the functionality of your
Right?
penis. Yeah.
So what do you do about that?
I'll say F it, and I am off hormones for the past 4 years, and I'm versatile, and I don't like to get hindered by my hormones, so I like to either top or bottom.
Okay.
And I like to flip a coin, and just, I don't know, we'll see who tops who.
So you truly are then really now after that you are tracked because you weren't that, but it can grow. You can kind of.
And it's just isolated upraising and that my culture being Chinese. So
Right.
now that I kind of through porn, I was able to learn more about myself and explore. So here I am. I'm just like this chameleon.
So if you're off hormones, I'm just curious how that affects you.
I'm more sane. I'm more
Oh,
sane.
right.
I'm less.
Welcome to our world,
Yeah,
right?
I
You
don't
had to
have that.
feel like.
Moodiness. I have it now and then, but it's not like a long cycle for like 7 days. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I know what you mean. Or like longer than that. They say 7 days, but sometimes I feel like I spend like a quarter of my life PMSing, which you kind of do. It's like a week, so so that's like 1 week a month. 1 week, yeah. So how many? I mean, that's it's suffering.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so now, so now you are. Okay, so I wanted to. Okay, so now you've been doing. What? Now you've won these awards
Yeah.
in part. What do you think? What do you attribute to your success? Like, what makes the best transsexual porn star?
I think it's all about work ethic and just personality and really keeping a level of humility. in every job you take, you always want to maintain a level of respect and dignity. And even though as non-dignifying point can be, you always want to maintain a level of humility, because everywhere you go, you are leaving an impression. And I think that's how it's always been my philosophy and motto in life, is just be able to persevere and just make sure you stay optimistic and spread positivity. And from there, things will come your way. And I think it's worked for me successfully. And also maintain a level of business acumen, what's professional, what's not professional.
But what about with so the scenes that you're doing now? I mean, you're directing more of your own stuff, right? Or producing, writing. Okay. And so a lot of it is with, give me like your favorite one that you've shot lately.
Recently, I directed and performed in a scene with another transsexual, and it was the first real transsexual interaction. Trans woman, right? Okay. Yeah, that actually really liked.
Like you were actually turned on for real?
Yeah.
You didn't have to watch porn on your phone in the bathroom? Okay.
Because most of the girls I usually encounter who are trans girls are heterosexual. And so they want men, and they want a man to dominate them. And so for me, I've never been with another bisexual or pansexual or transsexual woman.
See, this is where it gets confusing. I thought, because it's not the same for every transsexual woman. They're not always want to be man.
Sexuality is very different from gender identity.
Exactly. And I think that's what's really confusing people. So
transsexual,
and you're just confusing
pansexual.
Right, but what you're saying is that most trans women that you've been with just want to be with men.
Yeah, and they're heterosexual. And then versus with this experience, I was able to be with a pansexual or open to transsexual women, and it was a lesbian or trans lesbian scene.
Wow. See, okay.
And it was intense, and it got to a point where we get to have sex with each other, and she topped me, I topped her, and then it ended up I just doming the hell out of her and choking her and spitting on her. It was hot. It was aggressive but intimate and sensual at the same time. There was a lot of body caressing and kissing and cuddling.
So is it, could this be a relationship?
Yeah,
sexual?
No, the person actually is open to is in a poly situation.
Okay.
So she's married to a
okay.
cisgender female, but when it comes to intimate relations, they're open. So.
Okay, so that could still be like a
I'm open to it, but I'm more of a primary person. I'm not a secondary.
Okay,
so
got it. No,
I don't know.
you
know too much about polyamory.
Yeah, I do. I do know about polyamory, but you have a primary partner.
Yeah,
and secondary.
I'm more of a primary. I cannot. I'm too much to handle.
Right. No, I know. I would need all the primariness, the number one is. But so now, tell me what you have learned about being with women after that. For like, what about pleasing women? If you had some tips, what have you learned?
I don't know what your sexuality is, but can you relate? Whereas, like with women, it's not.
Me neither. No, I don't.
But with women, it's a different emotion, and it's a different high or a different climax because you're with a person who kind of gives you empathy and understanding, not sympathy, but empathy, like understanding how it feels, how it hurts, or what position is awkward. And on top of that, you have a little bit more of a mutual understanding. So coming in, you're both kind of evolved and knowing what to expect, versus when you come to a very heterosexual situation, which I'm not against at all. It's almost like negative and positive trying to meet together all the time, versus like a positive and a positive and a negative and a negative.
What about being with straight men? Does that?
It's awkward sometimes because I am such a control freak. I run my own business. I'm a dom. I'm a transsexual. So it's just like double whammies, triple whammies on a heterosexual guy who's like trying to explore sexuality with a transsexual woman. It gets to a point like it's just too much of a handful, and I have no patience at all to guide them. So for me, it's always in a situation where I always get submissive men.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. And
I got it. And so that it kind of is.
Have you ever had that with submissive men?
I've had men who've wanted me. So no, I'm mostly with men. Yeah. No, I am dominant, but not in the bedroom. Okay. I'm more submissive in the bedroom, but I have had men. I mean, I have all the equipment at my house. Just cleaning out my house. No, but I am more submissive. I mean, I have been with women, but primarily I'm with men. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I'm not. I wouldn't even know how to. I don't know. But then I wonder. I would know. The thing is, I would know. Oh, I've had threesomes, but yes, I've done all that. check. But I'm not particularly dominant. I mean, I can, be the aggressor, but I'm not like I've never been the dominant with a submissive. And if a man's really wants, I've been with guys who like want that, and I've experimented, but it just doesn't really turn me on. That's why I was
you'd rather get
interested-
choked yourself.
What?
You'd rather get choked
Yeah,
yourself.
choke me. I don't want to choke. Right, exactly. Just choke me, spit on me. It's fine. But yeah, so that's interesting. But I'm also wondering if there's ever this, because you say it's difficult. I'm sure it is. You can't go to like unmatch.com, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
no.
it doesn't.
Yeah, dating is very difficult for me. More so, it's just like my demeanor and my business acumen, and also my priorities. And on top of that, what is appropriate? Just because I am a porn star does not give you automatic, invitation to ask me all the questions about porn, how my sex life is like, how do I date other guys.
Right.
Why don't you just treat me as a human and then ask me, hey, how's your day? What are you up to? Do you want to grab coffee? Versus like, oh my God, you're a porn star. What do you do? How does that work out? Do you fuck, and get paid?
Right, exactly.
I'm like,
Well, I think Emily gets the same thing. About
I do too. No, all the time. They like
Imagine.
totally make assumptions. Like he was like,
About-
"Oh, all these guys on Instagram want to date you." I'm like, "Oh, great." Are they like, "You're hot. Let's bone." I mean, like, are you qualifying these people? I get it. But so my first name is like sex.
it's a different persona, too.
Absolutely. But I'm talking about meeting because it's like people would not automatically assume that you're a trans woman.
Yeah.
So what happens with, like, when do you bring that up?
Oh, off the bat. I
Like,
to be
right, you're like, "Hey,
transparent.
P.S.
Yeah.
What do you say?" Like,
I'm like, hey, I'm trans, and if you don't understand a trans, it means I have a penis, and if you don't want to learn more, Google.
right, exactly.
I don't have time to explain everything because I, as a transsexual, I feel like I'm always, I don't know why, but I always keep finding myself educating people all the time.
Yeah.
Like, what is trans? What is
That's what I'm
I'm sure that could be
What's
just
transsexual?
That's your every single day of your life.
Every
That's what you're
single
talking
day.
about.
And I don't mind the ignorance, I don't mind educating as much. Just like sometimes I just want it in moderation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
I know.
how many times do you want to like? Oh yeah, I run this podcast and I do
I
this all
know,
the time.
because it's such a thing. I'll go to parties and be like, don't, like, I just say I'm a producer. Like, I don't want to talk about what I do because it's such a thing. The whole room, like the dentist next to me does not want to talk about being
But
a
sometimes
dentist.
doesn't make it easier when you're having a deep conversation that someone knows your background already.
Yeah,
You know what I
it
mean?
does. Yeah, that's true. But like, yes, it
You
does.
want to explain the whole story, like, so I do this podcast for this long, how many years? And
I was exactly. I was out with a guy, and he's like, "Tell me." I'm like, "Can you just Google it, and then we'll
Just
talk
Google
on
it.
our next date."
Exactly.
I was out with a guy recently. It was a one-date wonder.
Yeah, it's funny because I talked to my buddy who is gay, and I asked him, I'm like, is there not one day of your life that you don't have to have a discussion about how you're gay?
Oh, that's a good question. Does he?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
to a
no,
girl
No,
or-
everything. But then on the other hand, I do have another. My boss, he's gay, and he loves talking about being gay. Like everything is all
Each his
about.
own.
Somehow he turns it around about how
Always.
he's gay in like every conversation. Like the sky is blue. Oh yeah, by the way,
By the way, I'm gay.
Yeah, but it's funny because I also do a morning radio show, and so these topics come up, and it's funny though because like when we try to have these, since we've done this podcast, you've said I am trans,
Yeah.
right? But then we try to have conversations about that comes up in the news, and then there's some people will text in and freak out like, no, that's not the label that I use.
Yeah, I
use
know.
blah,
People
blah.
get upset,
Yeah.
right?
Like why? There's so many people freak out about different. Like,
Everyone's
don't
trying
call
to
me
be
trans.
PC.
No, right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've gotten that too,
I'm fourth level, blah blah blah.
Oh,
you know,
God.
like what?
Yeah.
What is going on? Like, how can we have a conversation about this without offending people in some
There's
way?
no
People get so
Yeah.
political about it, and I can
Yeah.
understand that, but also
People
people
get
just want to understand.
Crazy
Like,
PC. Yeah, we're just trying to have a conversation.
Like I said,
about,
transgendered once on the show because in the 90s that's what I worked on, and that's what it was called. That was like the political thing, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you said." Like, I understand it. I'm not like insulting you. Like, I'm sorry. Like I said that. You know,
I think it's because transgender is just so big. It's almost
it
like
is. But this is
LGBTQ.
I get it. It's like LGBTQ. Remember when it became LGBT?
and then it became
Q.
Huge, it was a QI, and it was like this whole thing, and it was like a huge deal. I'm like,
2.0.
guys, I'm with you. I'm with you. It changed. I didn't know. I didn't get the memo.
Look, I'm trying to support you when it comes to like North Carolina and all this stuff that's going on.
Exactly.
But then you're like crazy blowing me up saying that I'm insane.
I know.
Yeah, that's such a
wait.
dysphoria with the community. It's just like there's
Like-
so much classism. You know,
I know.
like for some people, like, oh, don't call me transgender. I'm transsexual.
Right.
And transsexual means actually you have the surgery and augmentation versus transgender. You're just identifying it. Versus
Exactly.
actually going through the whole entire process.
I'm like, okay, if you identify as a woman, can I just call you a woman?
Yeah.
Right.
Why do
what
I
about
need
the
it?
bathroom debate? Like
Yeah.
someone's gonna say you're a woman, but not where you got a peanut. You can't go in the bathroom. Who cares? Like,
cares?
We should focus our time on other things.
The goal is to just go pee. It's not trying to get raped or molest someone.
As we were talking right now, I got an update about that. On the way here
about the bathrooms.
About the bathrooms, saying that it's not constitutional. It was a Associated Press update as I was driving here.
What'd they say?
Saying it's non-constitutional. Like they can't.
Yeah, it's
say
discriminative.
That. Yeah,
it's very discriminative.
So I have so many questions for you, but
hit me.
Maybe. But I want to know how it has changed since we're talking about there is so much more awareness now of these issues. Like, how do you think that porn has changed in your community?
I feel like obviously porn in your generation, it was like booming, and it was evolving, and so much money. Now coming in, it's been 4 years for me. So I came in 2012. After the .com boom in 2008, everything just went downhill.
Right.
And so basically, transgender pornography was also making a lot of money before 2008. And then after the .com boom, because our industry is so small already, it just became really smaller. It became
smaller? See, I think there's more of an interest now. I feel like there's more.
Well, and the production side got
the
smaller.
Production side, right. That's why you started your own business, which is very smart.
The demand is there. It's just supplying. People don't know how to do it properly in regarding to humanizing transsexuals and also really categorizing the subgenres. Like, hey, there is a genre for transsexual women with transsexual women. Transsexual women with men, and then transsexual women with cisgender women, and
you do all that.
Yeah.
By the way, right?
Yes, I do all that.
Right. Okay.
And then there's throw in the sexuality or the complexities of who's dom, who's sub, and it's just so.
I'm exhausted.
It's exhausting.
Do you ever support missionary? You just like, can you just like have sex and turn on Netflix, make some popcorn?
It'd be so easy and just cuddle afterwards.
I just want to cuddle sometimes, right? It is complicated.
If porn can sell like that, awesome. Just sell. Oh, we're gonna cuddle and we're gonna make millions of dollars just cuddling porn. You know what I mean?
Not a bad idea. I'd be really good at it. I've got a good set of But who would you say is your main fan base?
My demographic is still predominantly men. More so, I've kind of capitalized on a niche that hasn't really expanded, which is domination or just dom women, and because the hormones cause our libido to go down and also kind of prevents the penis from getting fully erect, that most girls end up conforming to becoming bottoms.
Right.
And so it's just kind of the catch-22. Some girls, depending on their genetics, they can still function, some can't. And so for me, that's why I kind of opted out to be able to be off hormones, because hormones doesn't dictate me as being transgender or not. It's just what I identify. So for me, I was like, I love the functionality of my penis, and I just focus on that. And that's why I feel like that market has grown, and I help grow that market and being a performer and supplying that content by shooting with women, men, but as a dom.
Right. Oh, right. So, that is a niche. Yeah, I totally see that.
And especially it becomes a kind of a platform that when it comes to transsexuals, we're like the next evolution of lesbian pornography and also pegging porn. So pegging was women with strap-ons, but then like if a guy doesn't want a toy and wants the real thing, they go to a transsexual.
Yeah.
Or if like
they're like pegging is the gateway.
Yeah, the gateway.
Bring on a transsexual, right? Menace?
I guess, yeah.
So you have.
Well, they brought it up. It's funny, pegging on Broad City. That's a great episode. Mm-hmm. People have Hulu. Just search Broad City.
It's everywhere. Like it really is. I mean, more so. So
I feel like transsexuals are now becoming more universal, and it's almost like the medium platform to introducing it into fetish life or into something that's different. Like nowadays, my fan base also comes from a lot of couples. So transsexuals, they
heterosexual couples?
Heterosexual couples, yeah. It's so odd. I would never fathom having a fan base, with couples. And they watch my porn together, and they fantasize on having a transsexual threesome because a female isn't intimidated by a transsexual. And then the guy doesn't feel too gay because it's a transsexual. It looks like a woman to have.
She's kind of a woman, but I can deal with this penis because she's the woman. Yeah, that is like brilliant. That makes so much sense.
Yeah, so it's evolving. But the thing is,
I get it. Yeah.
But the porn industry itself is still run by men, so they have this kind of narrow-minded mindset of like how porn should be made, and so that's why the genres don't really evolve. So that's why I kind of opted in to become a feminist producer, director, and just advocating for subgenres and different sexualities and different niches and fetishes. And that's why I came up with a new website I'm launching next month called TS Fetishes.
TS Fetishes.
TSFetishes.com, taking away the fetishization of transsexuals and just putting it into niches underneath the transsexual category, which is, you know, smoking, foot worship, domination, bondage, you know, these tinier facets that are fetishes that are just tied in with transsexual.
Wow. Do you have a fetish?
I love body hair with men. With women, I don't know with the women yet. I'm still exploring with women.
Still exploring with women, right? It takes like a lifetime.
I'm
almost.
very picky because I like brunettes. I like natural tits, natural ass, minimal tattoos. And, you know, it's something that's nice and clean and puffy and no pubes, you know.
Right,
like,
no pubes.
No pubes.
What is the trend with pubic hair? People always ask me that.
Yeah,
Like, I think I know. Like, I got a memo. I
Bush
mean, I
is
think
back. I'm like, no, it's
No,
the bush is
no,
never
no.
coming back.
Yeah, no.
But
A small group of people trying to make it come back. but
is
it's
there
not
just a
gonna happen.
landing strip or is it nothing?
A little landing strip is fine.
It's
but
almost
just,
easier to just take it all off.
Yeah. So, guys, I don't mind it because my sexuality, you know, I like masculinity and femininity. So with a man, I want to feel a man, and when I'm with a woman, I want to feel a woman.
Right.
So,
But you can kind of do it all. So do you think you could see yourself in a traditional relationship or just...
I'm open to a mono situation, but down the line, I feel like a poly would be the best situation for me, but it's just so complex. I need to find someone who's evolved.
Right.
Yeah,
See,
that's
it's
the
hard to
tough
find
part.
evolved.
You
That's
got to
what I was-
educate that.
Oh, it's so hard. No, but you're right. I mean, that's what I've been... It's just sometimes I just
we'll
rather
see.
hang out with Menace and stuff and you and Madison.
Yeah.
My family.
Yeah.
But what were you going to say?
No, I'm agreeing.
Other questions I have, I was curious, like, so I was reading about your early porn scenes. Now, when you're doing porn now, and now you're well, first of all, I'm very impressed that you become such a mogul in such a short time. Like, you won these two, you've been doing porn for 4 years. You Venus Lux Entertainment. I'm really impressed by your website that helps Transglobal, is that what it's called? That's really Transglobal magazine.
Yes, I've taken a sabbatical from it. It's a little outdated right now.
But it was just impressive. It was like, how do you change your name? If it was like, you know, how do you wear makeup? It was like a very like interesting site. I thought lifestyle for trans women, and I thought that was such a great service.
I like it because there is no platform, there is no education regarding. There's nothing like that in our judicial system that, you know, makes it a requirement to learn about sexuality and gender identity, and also what details entail it. And when it comes to college, it's an elective. So for me, I wanted to create this platform for those who are young, who are learning about transitioning and trying to understand what it takes to be actually transition. So I kind of created this as a hub, and it was more of a test and seeing how the public will perceive it and how my fan base would perceive it. And so I took a sabbatical, and now this year's goal is to transform Transglobal Magazine into more of a digestible guidebook that comes out quarterly, and I'll hopefully be able to pitch it out to like hospitals and schools.
Yeah, there's just the people don't understand. There's more education.
You have social media. Nowadays, the millennials are all about Snapchat, Twitter, and Facebook, Instagram, but how often would they encounter something that's educational regarding to transgender
Well, I think it's great. I mean, obviously, because you had to learn on your own. I think it's great that you're also educating so many young people. But my other question for you was, so when you had your first scene, you weren't really attracted to women. I'm wondering now, when you do porn, are you what are you turned on?
I am turned on, but it's all about personality for me. If I connect with you, then anything can go. Like, and what I need to connect on is intellectuality, how humble you are, how compassionate you are. You know, do you have your shit together or not? You know, if you're going to be doing a lot of drugs, I'm like, that's a little bit of a turn off. If you keep talking about your snake all the time, I'm like, that's not really...
Snake or like penis or like a real snake?
Like actual snake. Like, oh yeah, I breed snakes for a living. I'm like, okay, that totally applies. I'm trying to get a wood in here, you know? I'm like, that's huge turn on.
Right.
So I just need to connect intimately, and like someone who likes to kiss, who's into it. And the thing is, I haven't had many good experiences sometimes with women who are kind of just fake it till they make it, you know, in a situation. They're open to the idea of transsexuals, but they're not really into it. And I feel like sometimes it's just a paying job for them.
Right.
So I need to get less of that and more like real lesbians and really just interested in just getting fucked by my strap-on that's attached.
Exactly. The attached strap, it won't fall off. It's not confusing.
Yeah.
Right.
It's very
gonna
realistic.
Work. It's going to be hard
special
enough.
effects to it. It squirts.
Exactly. You can move it in the right direction.
It's crazy so I used to do a morning show in San Francisco called The Doghouse, and they're still on the air in San Francisco, so you can Google them. It's a great show. And then there was a morning show, and we would actually have a trans woman come in quite often named Vanity.
Vanity. I know. Yeah, Vanity.
And it was funny because then she would come out with us and party and stuff like that.
She's a firecracker.
Yeah, and but it's funny because all the straight guys, after a couple of drinks, they did not care. No, they knew. They knew.
But they didn't care. Wow.
They just did not care. Yeah. Like,
see, I'm wondering about that too.
Guys that claim that I'm heterosexual and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Dude, they were making out with Vanity like after a couple of drinks. It was crazy.
Okay, right. Does
because
that happen
Vanity at the time, I don't know. I haven't seen her recently. At the time, you cannot tell that she used to be a man.
She still has a penis, so she's still transsexual, or no one would fathom like she used to be a man, and I still get that too now and then with guys. The thing is, I always get the curious guys, who want to learn more. The thing is, I feel like I always end up becoming a conduit to someone's fantasies.
Right.
And that's what I'm talking about when it comes to the fetishization of transsexuals. It's like they have these fantasies, I want to get fucked by a transsexual or
but you don't want to be that person. No, you can but you don't want to be that. You're like, no, I don't want to be that.
I don't mind guiding you, but I don't want you approaching me in that manner, like expecting that. I would like to get to know me first, and then I can maybe work with you and help you open those doors on my own prerogative, but not just because
you're trying to live out something. Right. I totally get it, man.
So that's why
it's similar, but not like with even like I get it. When guys want to date me, they're like, oh well, what kind of toys do you have? What's going on in your house? Because I've always talked about it. I'm like, oh, you're gonna like be crazy in bed, and I think, or do they just want to sleep with me because of what I do, or is it because of
This is why there's a term in what transsexual women use called tranny chasers. Right. It's guys who specifically love trannies, or that's a derogatory term. But
I can't say tranny. I get really in trouble.
It's the only transsexuals can say that, I guess. But they call them tranny chasers, and basically are guys who are very attracted to transsexuals. And for me, actually, I love them because they're the people who understand me the most, who anticipate the most, and know what to expect. And they're not looking for a fantasy because they already fulfilled it. So
so they've already been with other trans women, so it's not like you're the one teaching them, right? Okay,
exactly. So it makes it easier, but at the same time, like, I don't want to deal with the situations like, oh, I don't want to come out about it. I'm like, you shouldn't have to come out. My penis is in my pants. Right. It's not like I walk around naked. What is there to disclose? I'm a woman, and whatever happens in bedroom does not dictate how we behave.
Exactly. So most people don't assume that unless they know senior porn. Like, they'll never.
Believe me, there's many times I've messed around with a lot of male talent in the straight industry, and they just don't want to be out about it. It's a lot of people are curious about it, no doubt about it. It's just that a matter of time when people get willing to go public about it, and less stigma, less discrimination.
I think you're doing the good work here.
Another discussion. Sorry to go all the way back to. I know I'm tired. I know you're probably extremely tired of talking about Caitlyn Jenner. But there's one thing that was funny because we. My group of friends and also Howard Stern brought it up recently. It's like, okay, like now the show is kind of boring because you keep on talking about all the issues. Like trans women are actually pretty fun. Yeah. Like show the fun parts, like now you're constantly just talking about issues. It's like, like trans women can party and have fun. Like, can you show that part so it can be fun?
Trans girls can be like bros, because mind you, we used to be Jews. We're talking about like, bro problems. Like, hey, you need to jerk off. You need to jerk off.
Right,
I get it. One of the benefits of being a transsexual woman is like, hey, you have your man needs. Address them. You need to go to a bar, drink with the dudes, go do it. Now, I'm not going to be like a clean girl, like, oh, what's going on? Of course, sometimes if on hormones out, there would be like the jealousy aspect, insecurities.
God, that's what it is. They're freaking hormones.
Hormones.
The point I'm trying to make is like, we're discussing that now because of the podcast, trying to educate people too. But like, I think like when you're when you do hang out with a trans woman, don't think that's going to consume your life. That's all you're going to talk about.
Right.
Each his own too. You
Just
know,
when you're on my
depends on
show,
what
but if
that
we went and had
person's
lunch.
about. Yeah, if they want to like either party a lot, they want to, you know, they love sex or whatever, you know, each his own. And I think it's just really just making sure coming in with an open mind and not assuming and not following the cliches of what stereotypical transsexuals are, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
Okay,
just-
good. Well, I'm going to segue into masturbation month.
Yes.
Because it's May. And it's masturbation month. And I'm wondering about, so how often do you masturbate?
I masturbate about once a day.
Once a day?
Yes.
Okay. And do you watch porn? Are you over porn?
I do watch porn, but I watch amateur porn because I produce porn. You know, like I know how. Oh, that's that angle. That leg is so inappropriate.
Right.
You know,
Like,
that's
I
so
can't
fake.
relax.
Yeah.
There's no continuity in here.
Yeah, exactly. So amateur just kind of gets me off, but. At the end of the day, you know, when it comes to personal sex life, you know, I'm very picky. Like, I just cannot. If you're smaller than me, like you're not fucking me. I'm sorry, but
Right.
you know, but
Oh,
also,
like their penis is smaller than you?
yeah. So I
Wow,
just
right?
can't.
You have a nice penis.
Oh, thanks.
You do? No, I watched all your porn. No, really.
Emily, this is so flattering.
No, you should see. I was like texting Matt, like, wait, what's her? Because I didn't know if you're logged into your site. I'm like, when you gotta log in, I gotta see it all. I don't want to see what's on. Like,
You're gonna regret
'cause you've got
saying
to-
that.
I'm not giving it back.
Let's stalk
I'm like,
you
it's
now.
temporary. But no, you do. But I could see that. But you don't know until you're in a room with someone to
Yeah.
measure up.
Yeah. True.
But I
that.
guess the gay community deals with this all the time.
Yeah, it's all about size queens, right?
Right.
I'm not really a size queen. It's just more someone who's about my size or bigger if you want to top me. And if you bottom, I just want to make sure that you are prepared for it. You're not like, oh, you know, like you don't
You've
know how to use the
experienced.
enema.
Right.
Or like, you know, like,
Does that happen? I'm sure.
yeah,
it all
I get guys
happens.
like, oh, yeah, just finger. I'm like, did you use the enema? Like, no, what is that? I'm like,
Do you keep them in your
yeah.
house? You like go to
yeah, I do. Usually I just do. I kind of structuralize everything. Like if
Right,
I,
because you're really organized.
I'm really
Super
organized.
Anal, no
I'm
pun
very
intended.
anal.
Right.
OCDs, I'm a control freak.
You have like a
everything.
handbook that you just hand on over or what?
I
Well,
like.
you almost want a checklist. Like,
Yeah.
did you shower? Did you this? did
Yeah,
that,
I have
right.
that. And so I masturbate most of the time because of the fact that I'm just so picky. I just can't hook up with a random person off the street. I like to have sex with industry people because I know they're tested, we're safe,
Right.
we're having fun, and we can get kinky as possible and not feel regrets, you know?
Like
if
how
it's a-
kinky? What is kinky? Like what
like
does that
orgy,
mean?
like just like couple like last month I had an orgy. I'm like, oh, that was awesome. You
Just
know?
like at your house, like a fun orgy.
It was at a
party.
hotel and it was after our award ceremony.
Expos or
No, T Awards, transgender erotica.
oh, fun!
awards,
So you're all there.
Where are those held at?
Oh, I wasn't invited to those. I thought I got
it's
to
in
all
LA.
the sex awards.
It's
in
a
LA?
smaller one.
I want to go next year.
Yeah, you should go.
I
It's so
know.
fun. So many transsexuals.
Yeah, that is really. It seems like you're doing. I'm really impressed. You got your Venus-Lux.com, your production company,
Yes.
Venus Lux Entertainment, and Venus Box.
Yes.
That's your latest.
Latest.
Right.
Yeah, just a
Tell
little
me that.
idea I have to be able to interact with my fans because it's just be able to entice my fans to want to explore something more kinkier and kind of create something like that. It was just an off kind of.
Okay, because I thought you want to talk about it. I didn't know if you want to talk about it. Because
No
okay,
worries.
forgot. Okay, I didn't know what else you wanted
The
to.
promote was definitely TS Fetishes.
Oh,
right now,
tsfetishes.com.
yes.
Okay,
So
got it.
focusing on that and also this year's project because I've kind of plateaued. I have all my performance years.
I know you
What
won
next?
2 by 25. She's won like you're out.
Yeah, what next?
You ready
You know?
to retire or what? No.
I'm working on that. So I'm working on my retirement plan. So
Nice.
I'm planning to stay in it for another 4 years or so and get my Hall of Fame. But then this year I'm focusing on more management. So I'll be this year managing more girls and taking them underneath my arms and be able to just guide them the preliminaries and the processes, the politics, the aesthetics of the industry, and really have kind of like a guidebook of what it takes to be able to be successful in this industry.
For trans women,
Mainly trans.
Because there really is no guidebook. I could see that it's already a tough industry.
Yeah, it
and I
is
could
tough.
see if you come into trans women even being taken advantage of more.
And it's small, and so because it's a man's world, and it's always the man with the most money and who dictates everything. That I want to advocate for feminism and for independent women to be able to take care of their own brands and kind of watch each other's back. Because I don't, sometimes it's politics that affect us, and also some of them that demean us. As transsexuals, we always get backlash, sometimes because people want to hook up with us but don't know how to approach it properly, and also what's appropriate, what's not appropriate too. And so that's why I want to protect some of these girls in the future, that hey, just because this director is shooting you doesn't mean you have to go suck that person's dick.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Well, that's always Since the beginning of time, there's been the casting couch, right?
Yeah.
But now it's
we're in
still a
Hollywood,
lot of that. There's still a lot of
all the
that,
time.
and guys milk it, and I don't like that. It doesn't protect the girls. and
No,
girls
good
don't,
for you.
yeah.
I'm glad I know you have a house and you help women.
Yes, and I have a model house, and basically there are girls who are traveling on their way into LA to work, and basically they're just a temporary home where they can feel safe and not be touched by men or get involved with drugs or get involved into aspects that hinder their career. So that's what I'm more focused on this year, and I'll be branding it under a new company I'm launching called Siren Network, and it'll be brand management and managing girls' sites and their careers in this industry and getting established and sustaining a level of expansion in the transsexual genre.
Cool.
So,
You're doing really. I'm really impressed.
so, and then also the Trans Girl magazine will be converted into a nonprofit this year. So it's in the
Killing
works.
it.
Advocating for workforce placement for transsexuals who want to get out of sex work and just be able to find
Right, because
happiness.
really, how do you find happiness?
Yeah.
Because you went in this route and you see, like, you did it, but
what next?
right,
You know, what
exactly.
next?
I get it. Do we have time for? Do you want to do an email? Do you want to answer an email?
Oh, wow.
From our listeners. That'd be awesome. Thank you for emailing us, feedback@sexwithemily.com. We love hearing from you. And we love when you include your name, where you live, how old you are, and how you
So we
listen.
can stalk you.
Yeah, exactly. Your address
No, it's
and your
just-
social security number.
It's interesting to find out like how they listen to the show, because there's so many different ways. There's sexwithemily.com, there's iTunes, there's Stitcher, there's Podcast One.
Right. There's a lot of different
There's
ways. We just
some-
want to know what you do. And also, as long as I'm here, I forgot, I was so excited at the beginning. I wanted to say, follow me on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and Snapchat at Sex with Emily, Facebook.com/Sex with Emily.
It's all cohesive.
It's all at Sex with Emily. That's really
Yeah.
easy. And okay, so hey Emily, love the show. I'm writing in from Quebec, Canada. I'm 19 years old. I'm a fully passing male to female post-op trans girl, and I have feelings of sexual inadequacy due to my situation. I find that most people are not friendly to the thought of dating people like me. How do you suggest I approach my insecurity, Nicholas? I just thought, we've talked a lot about this, but I was thinking that maybe you could ask.
So she's a post-op transsexual who's 19 years old. Yeah, I feel like that's one of the new raves nowadays.
Explain this to me. Right, male to female post-op, so had the operation, no
Yes.
penis, right?
And because I don't know how it's like in Quebec, but obviously now, government covers SRS or sex reassignment surgery or
In the United
post-op.
States,
In the United
right.
States, yes. And so dating is very tough. A couple of my friends actually just got their post-op surgeries too, and they assumed that life would change, assuming that people would perceive them differently because of their genitalia. I told them, like, your genitalia does not dictate who you are. You are still female with or without your penis. You walk on the street wearing pants. You don't show your
Right.
genitalia. So, and then, yes, dating is different, and I have some girls who lie, don't disclose that they weren't born a female. And I have some who are transparent about it. And at the end of the day, is finding someone who is going to accept you for who you are, for your personality, not by your genitalia.
Right.
And that is kind of your success for happiness. And associate with people who know and are positive and can be allies. And even I feel like you need to be transparent about it, even though that it's a vagina now.
Right.
You have to disclose that, hey, it's not a functional vagina. There's no uterus.
So there's no uterus, but is there sensations?
You can get it's actually prone for infection. You have to understand that, like, if you were to do a cream pie, you actually have to manually clean it out because you cannot piss it out. Really, the track is different.
You can't get right.
Yeah,
Tricky.
yeah.
It already is difficult.
A vagina actually it kind of helps sterilize everything by itself.
Right.
When it comes to a
Self-cleaning,
wound,
self-lubricant, right.
You have to take care on top of that. You can't get pregnant. So you don't want to deceive a guy and fall in love and you can't have children, So you always want to be transparent. So
19 years old.
19 years old. Just associate yourself with support groups and other, community members that can advocate. And dating, just, make sure you be as present as you are, and just live your life, be happy, and always disclose that, be honest.
I think that's really helpful. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, I've got 5 questions for you that we ask every guest.
That's it. Just
These are
5.
quick, though. These are rapid
And then
fire.
10 more after.
Then 20 after that.
Just 5.
One question. Okay. Quick. Just whatever comes to mind. What's your biggest turn on?
Biggest turn on, the brain.
Biggest turn off?
Smells. Bad smells, odor, BO.
Craziest place you've gotten busy?
Oh, that's so hard.
Because they're all crazy.
Yeah, a beach, movie theater, mom's bed.
Awesome. Sexiest word to you?
That's hard. Sexiest word, sensual.
What's the one thing you wish you could tell a future partner about your sexual needs?
Evolved.
Got it. That's good. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
I appreciate it. You're awesome. How can so people can find you? It's all be on our website. But what's your biggest thing you want to?
Twitter and Instagram at Venus Lux, and Facebook at The Real Venus Lux, or TS Venus Lux, either or, one of those. And check out my website, venus-lux.com. And
yeah, it's hot.
Yes, stay tuned to my Twitter and for updates in regards to launching my new website, tsfetishes.com, next week. And also be prepared for a new company that would be
God, how do you have time
representing
to have
for
sex
the
and
next
do all this
generation. I know.
porn and the companies and wow.
I like to be a busy bee.
So they'll find out all this about you. Well,
on
congratulations
Twitter.
on
Thank
your
you.
success.
Now I'm gonna stalk
and
you
thank
now.
you for your what?
I'm gonna stalk you now.
You totally stalk me. You didn't stalk me yet.
You're like,
no, we'll
you're
stalk
like
each
an
other.
awesome creeper, but it's like you're positive, you're educated, you're fun.
Thanks. I try to have a good
And
time.
you're pretty too.
Oh, oh that's. You're like, I didn't think she'd be pretty, but thank you.
Pleasure.
Some more about me. No. Okay, we're gonna wrap. Thank you so much, Venus Lux.
Yeah,
thank you,
thank you
Menace.
for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Madison, and thank you, Lori, and thank you, Jamie, and my whole amazing team. Love you all. Thanks.
Oh, could I say one thing? It was so. Okay, fine.
Of course you can.
No, there was. It was so awesome. The last podcast that I was on, I mentioned it was my dog's birthday, Chiro, right? And I said, follow my dog, Chiro. And I go, it would be a fun experiment to see how many people listen all the way to the end of the podcast to say, hey, follow my dog on Instagram, right? So many people commented on her Instagram page and said, I've listened to the end of the show. So
That's
that was
amazing.
great. So thank
people
you,
are still listening. So should we talk about something really important right now?
Oh, they're still listening. Yeah.
No, I love that.
No,
and
thank
happy
you.
birthday to Churro.
Yeah, my baby.
Oh,
She had so much
baby.
fun.
She
We got her a
did.
cake.
Oh.
There's a dog bakery. And
I
you can
know.
buy a cake.
I can't even believe
It's
that you've
crazy.
become. I meant to bring her
now.
something.
Yeah.
Okay, I brought her cake, but I ate it because it was a people cake.
That's cool.
Okay, everyone. Thank you, Menace. Thanks, everyone, for listening. Was it good for you? Email me, feedback@sexwithemily.com. So, when was the last time an app changed your sex life? And no, I'm not talking about Tinder. I'm talking about my app, Kegel Camp. It will increase your control, improve your sexual performance, and help you experience incredibly intense orgasms. Plus, if you've had a baby, Kegel Camp is the answer to getting your, vagina back in shape. You know what I'm talking about, ladies. After years of telling you about the importance of Kegel exercises, it occurred to me, I need a better way to help you do them properly. And after a lot of development and some intense Kegel workouts, Kegel Camp was born. Kegel Camp is fun and easy to use and is, of course, incredibly effective. It provides simple step-by-step prompts that lead you through 20 levels of progressively intense workouts. The app tracks your progress, rewarding you with satisfaction of each new achievement, and with Kegels of steel. And guys, don't think you're exempt from needing a good Kegel workout. Strong pelvic floor muscles are just as important for men as they are for women. Regular Kegel Camp workouts can help you last longer, give you stronger erections, and more powerful orgasms. I hear from Kegel campers every day. They send me screenshots when they reach the next level, and many of them have reached level 20. I'm not even at level 20. Download Kegel Camp today from the iTunes App Store or by clicking on the Kegel Camp banner on sexwithemily.com today. I'll see you at camp.